Right, let's talk about Florian Wirtz, Paul. Again, as of right now, Thursday morning. I know Fabrizio Romano did his Here We Go the other day, and there's an agreement in principle and verbal agreements and all that kind of the different terminology. Obviously, since it's been reported by most people, like there's actually no official confirmation from either party, both Leverkusen and Liverpool. That's where we're at now. So it's been a couple of weeks since the interest was muted. But, and we keep saying this, it feels like it's nearly there, but it's not quite there yet. Is that the understanding?
Yeah, I mean, you're in danger of sort of alienating people by repeating the same thing. But Liverpool, as far as we are aware, remain in negotiations with Leverkusen. I had a conversation with someone yesterday morning about this, and you know, basically the state of play, as we understand it, is Liverpool have offered £100 million down as a sort of flat fee, if you like, for Florian Wirtz, and then everything else is under negotiation, which basically the amount of add-ons. So Liverpool have, offered 114 million, 5 million up on the most previous bid, which was turned down. This one, not sort of rejected out of hand as such, but it's been the catalyst to bring the two clubs a little bit closer. Bayer Leverkusen wants 126 million, which would be 150 million euros, and that is the sort of magic figure which they are holding out for. It was made very clear to me yesterday that Liverpool have no intention of going anywhere near 126 pounds. So they are, £8 million short at the moment. There might be a little compromise where they sort of edge up a little bit closer towards that and Bayer Leverkusen bring their asking price down slightly. And that might be where the agreement is finally reached. But until then, talks remain ongoing. So people keep asking me how long will it take, but we're not privy to those talks with Simon Rolfe as the Bayer Leverkusen sporting director and obviously Richard Hughes. So yeah, the negotiations remain ongoing. But I think what is clear is he will be a Liverpool player at some stage. I don't think there's any danger of Liverpool walking away, turning to a plan B, the deal collapsing, however you want to phrase it. I think they will see this through. And we've got to remember as well, it's only, we're less than 2 weeks into June. Transfer window actually isn't even open yet, is it, until Monday?
The mini one's open, opened, yeah.
I mean, I was talking to someone yesterday about the mini transfer window, but it made no odds to Liverpool because they weren't involved in the Club World Cup, so they're just negotiating the same way they normally would in June for players, so absolutely no need to rush anything through. You know, they do believe that Wirtz will be on board for pre-season, which begins on July the 7th, and obviously they've got the friendly with Preston later that week, so I think there's still plenty of time for it all to be wrapped up before then, and he will be on board literally for the tour of Hong Kong and Japan, all being well. So yeah, I guess it's just about thrashing out the specifics of the payment structure, how much of the add-ons worth, and there's also the prospect of Cologne as well, who would due a certain percentage, and I think they might have to get in touch with FIFA to sort of sort their end of the bargain as well. So a lot of moving parts. It's the biggest deal that Liverpool have ever struck, but it will get done. And now it's just a game of patience.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like, you know, we live in such a fast-paced world.
Yeah.
It's been about 2 weeks since he made his mind.
3 weeks. So it was the Friday before the Palace game, so that was May the 23rd, when he informed all parties of his decision. So talk stepped up since then, and Liverpool have had a fair few things on the to-do list since then, haven't they? Obviously, they boxed Jeremy Frimpong with his unveiling. They've tried to, kickstart negotiations for Milos Kerkez.
I don't think Richard Hughes was on his phone on the tour bus either.
Yeah.
There's a day lost. Pictures of him with a scarf over his face.
And the Palace game, all the incident that happened around Water Street, Liverpool had to tread very carefully around, the fallout from that for obvious reasons. So, 3 weeks is nothing really. You look back on when Liverpool signed Ryan Gravenberch at the end of April, at the end of August. He'd been on the docket list for months and finally got him through, late in the window. So these things take time, and particularly when they are dealings of 100 million upwards, which is new territory for Liverpool.
Yeah, I suppose on that as well, it's worth mentioning, it was Fabrizio Romano's report, and different people get information from different places. It could be an agent, it could be a player, it could be someone close to the deal. Things tend to be falling into place. The terminology is just always slightly a little bit different.
Yeah,
I've always got the sense, and you probably can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Liverpool always err on the side of caution in terms of this kind of thing. It's always downplaying a little bit, just because, like I say, and then when it's done, we'll tell everybody it's sound. Is that right to say?
Yeah, well, I think if things do sort of. If things get blown up and maybe made to be bigger than they are or further along than they are, and then things don't happen for whatever reason, then there will be a barrage of coverage that comes with that, and it will be negative, and it will, rival supporters will be able to point and laugh and whatever. So, yeah, I do think that there are sort of parts of caution when you're speaking to people about getting these sorts of deals done, because these are the ones ultimately who are doing the business, who are trying to get it over the line and stuff. So, I think that is fair to say that there is some caution in parts, but I also think as well that it's not like playing Football Manager or whatever, where you can just sort of get these things done in a few clicks. It's a £114 million is the fee that they're currently negotiating around. So it's an incredible amount of money, isn't it, for anything really? A business transaction, bringing a player to the club, it's new ground for Liverpool. Like I say, they've never gone anywhere near 100, let alone break through that barrier and then some. So yeah, this all takes time, but what is clear is Florian Wirtz has made a decision that he wants to move to Liverpool. There's no sort of Bayern Munich sort of hanging on in the background, anything like that. And all being well, he will be a Liverpool player for the start of the season, for the start of the pre-season, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last question on it then, mate, it's interesting because I know Jeremy Frimpong put like a video out of him and Wirtz linking together on his social media, and Andy Robertson did his interview with Sky Sports Day. I know you wrote about that as well, at his charity golf day. It does feel like, I don't know. It's kind of like not the worst kept secret ever, but like even when players start properly doing things like that, that's when listen. I don't think Jeremy Frimpong's putting that video out if he thinks there's any chance that Florian Wirtz is going to be a Liverpool player. Andy Robertson probably backs it away a bit quicker if it isn't probably further down the line than maybe the usual transfer rumour, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Robertson gets asked about it if it's not nailed on, sort of close to being signed and sealed. To be fair. And he wouldn't have answered it if it was just speculation. So, don't think that there's any danger of this one not happening. It's just a case of when and where will it happen.
It'll be Friday night, like 9 o'clock when no one's here. That's when it'll be. Yeah. I'll be doing a video from my kitchen again. Probably that's how Liverpool tend to do these things. I go back to Atara window when I was just about to go to bed, and I had to trudge myself downstairs. The other day, Paul had to get out of bed to do the reactor for Fabrizio Romano. Again, first world problems.
But it's I think it's just excitement, isn't it, and a little bit of impatience creeping in because they know how good the player he is. It's always exciting when your club breaks their transfer record, particularly for someone who's a young Bundesliga player of the year with, all the traits that he's got, the archetypal number 10 with a real work ethic to go with it. I'm so looking forward to seeing him play next season as a Liverpool player. I was a little bit disappointed with him when Liverpool beat Leverkusen 4-0 because I had been looking forward to seeing him up close, and he didn't really impact the game anywhere near as much as he'd have liked. That was obviously good news for Liverpool, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the flesh, which will be, I'm certain, by pre-season. And it's just a case of what will be the eventual structure and figure that gets it over the line with Leverkusen, because I think that's the only thing now that is in doubt, because he will be a Liverpool player and we will be talking about him being a Liverpool player on this show in the next however many days. Yeah, fingers crossed. It's sooner rather than later. And if you can do it before 5, Monday to Friday as well, right? If you're watching, if you're listening, like that, just me being selfish. But listen, it's summer. Don't want to be working late. Done late all season.